Welcome to Moose Milk Podcast, episode 15. I'm your host, Ryan. I'm just going to wait for Matt to join us. But thank you for taking the time out to watch this little podcast that I'm doing. I appreciate anybody that, takes their time out and wastes it on this podcast. I appreciate it. Matt's just joined, so my dog's eating a treat off my lap. That's what you got to do with a dachshund. Icy barks, as you guys are well familiar with. What's up, buddy?
Hey, man. How's it going?
Not bad, you?
Not too bad. Not too bad. Just had a little puff and...
Very nice.
Fucking ready to roll. We just rewatched... Well, we didn't just. We watched it earlier. Rewatched last night's episode. So I usually watch it right when it comes on and then again before we... Just to see if I can catch anything I might have missed.
Yeah, I just did the same thing.
Yeah.
As anybody that isn't familiar with this podcast, if you haven't watched the episode, there's going to be spoilers.
If you haven't watched it, what the fuck are you doing here?
I don't know why you're here, but I like you. I still love you. I'm glad you're here.
Let us spoil it for you.
I just don't want to ruin anything for anybody. So
I do.
Well, Matt's rude. He's a rude boy, but I like him.
A rude boy.
But yeah, if you haven't watched the episode, just come back later. It's in my profile. You can go to the YouTube channel. I post it right after the episode is done, and you can watch it tomorrow or anytime in the near future when
or they could just put it on mute, and then they could get kind of hints of what might happen just from us being like,
oh, my reactions. Yeah. Also, anybody that hasn't gone over to Matt's channel lately, go check out all the shelves that he's finished. The realigning, they're awesome. He just posted the Turtles shelf yesterday, which is my favorite shelf that he's done.
Mine too.
Awesome.
Looks good.
Now back to customizing to new characters, which looks really dope.
Yeah, man. So I'm excited. I'm gonna do some more work tonight. I just did all my base coats on I'm working on Black Cat, so I'm doing
very dope, sir.
Yeah. So I'm gonna do some of that tonight and then a bit more tomorrow and hopefully finish it off at the end of the weekend. But I might do a live stream soon to go over my display case. Because I usually do a good one once it's fully done. And then I save it so that way I can kind of direct people to it when people ask to see my collection, because it happens. I get a lot of repeat questions, right? It's just
yeah, of course.
So now I'm starting to be smarter about it and make a video and be instead of me explaining this huge process by retyping it to you, let me just point you to this direction.
Well, it's hard, right? When people are busy with their jobs or lives or what have you, they miss one episode or one stream or whatever, and they're out of the loop or whatever, and then they bounce back and go, "Oh, I missed what's going on here. What's going on?" kind of thing. So.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah,
but yeah, it'd be nice to get back to customizing, as I've been doing my shelves for I think it's almost 3 weeks, so it's fuck.
Yeah, well, I mean that's what happens when you have almost 20 shelves, right?
Yeah, exactly. I can't imagine having more, but I really want more.
Yeah, well, I think it's inevitable. Yeah. I mean,
it's funny because I don't even know, I don't even know, after I set up that turtle shelf, I'm this doesn't even have the capacity to hold what's coming out in 2021. I'm going to need more space for turtles by the end of the year.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, I'm just going to suggest maybe Kate sleeps on the balcony.
That would be funny. She would love that.
Who wouldn't?
I'll be like, hun, you need to get out of here. I need to have a puff. I'm just kidding. Sorry to intrude.
I'm sorry to intrude on your nap, but Daddy needs some smoke.
That's funny. Yeah, I mean, I would love to add on, but yeah. It's hard to
it's a problem with anything, right? Collecting anything ends up being a space problem, regardless.
You pretty
I
much
have a
collect
movie
to your space, right? So that's the thing is like, you know, in a year I doubled what I had. Like it wasn't really that much. It's just I was able to spread things out more, right? But as I've gotten stuff into new lines and shit like that, it takes up more space, and it's just
Totally. Well, it's like my movie collection, right?
Oh my god, dude, yours is ridiculous. How
I
many DVDs do you have? Like 1,000?
Oh, more.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was gonna say because you had
Like, I would guess between 1,000 and 1,100, but yeah, it's becoming an issue because it's basically an entire wall of my house.
Yeah, totally.
It's like plus all the video games I've collected over 30 years of gaming it's a space issue. It's like anything that you collect, even vinyl, right? Like CDs, vinyl, what have you. I have an entire cabinet of vinyl, and it's like eventually I'm going to run out of room, and this is ridiculous. But physical media is always just going to hold a special place in my heart. Like I think it's our generation that just appreciates.
I agree with that.
Having that item in your house, like it's whether it's the art of the thing or I don't know, it's just like a sentimental, nostalgic thing. It's like I just watched that documentary on Netflix about the last Blockbuster.
Oh, that was good. We watched that.
Yeah, and like I'm like I miss Blockbuster. Like that was my thing. Was I'd go home from work and there was a Blockbuster on my way, and I'd stop in on Blockbuster and collect 2 or 3 movies.
Yeah.
And I'd go home and I'd watch them.
I remember those. I remember hanging out with you during those times.
And that's what I mean. Is like it's just nostalgic for me to collect movies, and like I know that's not a thing that most people do anymore with digital media so prevalent. But I like having physical media. I like having a bookshelf of stuff that I love. So
I will say, sticking to that subject. Living in Vancouver, obviously space is tight no matter where you are. So it's like, when I first moved here, I moved with me my 700 DVD collection and trying to fit. I remember after the first place we lived in, or I think the first or second place, I think it was after the first place, we had to get rid of. I didn't have the space, and that was my that was what I collected, right? Yeah. So I was pretty bummed to not be able to do it anymore. But I still have all my DVDs, but I threw away all the cases. I put them all into binders, and I have 5 binders this fucking thick of DVDs.
Which is way more reasonable when you think about it.
It still takes up a lot of room, but yeah, it is. But it's way better than 2 bookcases full.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Anyways. We should probably stop talking nostalgia and get into the episode, which is Falcon and Winter Soldier, episode 5. Yes, so this is your last one. If you haven't watched the episode, bounce now, come back later. We're going to spoil the shit out of it. What did you think of the episode?
I didn't like it. Let me rephrase that. I was just expecting more, maybe. Wow. For it being the second last episode, yeah.
I am so polar opposite of you that
I know it's weird. I felt like you were going to be opposite, but I only thought that because I feel like I haven't been getting it right when I've been pegging you for a certain thing. I've been misreading, so this time I kind of went with my opposite, assuming that I would be wrong, and it's good. So I was wrong.
This is probably my favorite piece of Marvel thing that's come out since Endgame.
Oh, hey, hang on 1 second. I only didn't say this because I see that Vander Collects just made a comment, and I just wanted to say he asked me about my bookshelves, and I forgot to reply. It is a Billy bookcase with the Moraladin doors from IKEA. Sorry to interrupt for that, but I meant to reply to him earlier, and I forgot to.
I absolutely loved the episode. I think it was so well written. I love the banter between Winter Soldier.
I like that. Yeah, it's not that I don't like it as a whole. I was just pretty led. I felt like there was a lot of things that I was and then me, once I get started on once something gets to me, I'm this is fucking weak. I pretty much immediately, it's pretty much doomed from that point on because then I'm just looking for reasons to dislike it.
Well, you know me, like I'm very blunt with my opinions,
Yes.
and I'm very straightforward with how I feel about things, and I'm very an emotional person. So if I do or don't like something, you're gonna get it, whether it hurts your feelings or doesn't. And
Sounds about right.
yeah, I think I it's hard for me to rate this like compared to films and stuff like that, but like I think this is one of the best pieces of Marvel thing that we've gotten.
This episode or just the whole thing?
This episode, like I adored it. I cried during it.
Really?
Like I just thought it was like really like powerful as an episode. Like the weight of Falcon taking the shield, I thought was extremely really well done. Like really well written. Like him weighing how the history of the shield and what it means as a black man taking over Captain America. I thought that was like really, really well written and really well done. We got all the like early episode stuff rejoining into the current episode, like
With
all the
boat
stuff
and
that was kind of laid out and foreshadowed in the early episodes, like kind of came to fruition here, where his sister stuff in the boat is even Winter Soldier, like dealing with his past and making his comeuppance with the people he's hurt in his life, and him understanding like how he needs to heal as a person to overpower that history. I love that aspects of it, and you see the faults of being human, even though they're super powered superhumans. Like the faults of what comes with that. I enjoyed that. I like that aspect because a lot of times you don't see that side of a superhero.
That's true. You don't really get the time to explore it when they're saving the world, right? Like you don't really.
Right.
Yeah.
And like I think that helps with a 6-hour series rather than
Totally.
a 2-hour film. Is you get to see those minuscule moments of emotion in the character development, and I really, really like that. And I just think it was really well written. I really enjoyed it. I love the beginning action scene that opened the episode.
Yeah, that was sick.
With the battle between Falcon, Winter Soldier, and the new Captain America. It's like it was brutal. It was awesome. It was really well choreographed. Seeing Falcon get his wings ripped off, and then
that was sweet. It was cool to see him use the wings again as weapons. Right, we were talking about that the last couple of weeks, and there he is again. Like,
I love that, and then like seeing them break Captain America's arm to get the shield off him. I was like, this is way more brutal than I would ever expect Disney to go. Like, I would never expect Disney.
It's definitely been like pretty dark for a Disney Plus show, also, and especially for a Captain America show. Like, like, definitely.
Like when we got the elevator scene in Winter Soldier, I was like, this is way more like brutal action than I would ever expect out of any of these movies, just because I didn't know if Disney would ever push the boundaries of like a PG film, like this is supposed to be all ages. This is supposed to be like they're everybody, a family film where, a kid can go see this and an adult can go see this and still get joy out of it and still get jokes out of it. And maybe the jokes hit differently for children and adults, but, it's way darker and way more adult than I would ever expect to see to go, and dealing with race issues and dealing with just the violence of it. I was shocked that this was a Disney Plus show, and it was really well done.
Well, okay, so like there's a lot of things about it that I did like, but there are some like really strong things that I disliked.
Okay, let's get into that.
Okay, so I'll start with the things I liked. So that opening scene, I fucking loved. It was awesome. It was so cool to see those guys fight. And like you said, I thought there was some like really, really strong, like, it's weird how I'm coming around and how much I like John Walker's character now. It's like,
I do too.
like I hated him like 3 episodes ago, but like now I'm just like, this is sick, man. This is a sweet story.
And that's a testament to the actor.
Totally.
To be able to make people hate him, but also understand where he's coming from.
Yep.
And which one of us, if we saw our best friend die, would we not want that violence to honor his legacy or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, we'd want that revenge, and the way they did that, like, I totally felt for him. I was like, yeah, if somebody went and murdered you, I'd want the same thing. Like, I'd want that revenge. I'd want to go out and find that man. So, like, I totally felt for him in that situation.
Well, like, so the part I liked was like one of the first things I kind of noticed was right at the beginning when he goes into that kind of warehouse. You kind of have like the silhouette of him kind of kneeling on with the shield in front of him.
Yep.
I thought that was like right out of it just looked like something you like ripped right out of a comic book. Like it was just
Yep.
so
Totally agree with you.
awesome. Oh, it was so awesome. And then they kind of get right into it, and yeah, it was cool to see again Sam kind of using the wings and to leverage his abilities, right? But yeah, ultimately I feel like John kind of got off pretty easy for what had happened.
I agree.
Like I feel like it's just like they came back, brought him back, and like scolded him basically said like, you can't be Captain America, you can't act as the American government anymore, and
right,
that was kind of just it, right? Like
I kind of felt that was because of his history as a soldier, right?
I think so, and they alluded to that too, right? So
yeah, like I mean, Falcon kind of said that in the scene was like,
yep.
Your history as a
soldier or whatever, right?
Right,
Like
whatever he
service.
said exactly. I can't remember the specifics, but like they're gonna take that into account of what you did, and like, yeah, that would happen. Is like you've been this exemplary, like, and I do agree with like I like their take on it of like the U.S. military made this person. Like whether you want to talk about the aggression that would come out of being a soldier and seeing your friends die, and the PTSD that would come out of seeing the things you see as a soldier. Like when he's yelling at them saying like, you made me, I was like, he's right. Like,
yeah, I was too. It was funny how different me and Kate's takes were on that, right? Because she's like, you still did it. And I was like, I kind of get it. Like they literally groomed you for this.
Right.
And then when you succeed, they punish you. Like
they train you to be that person, and whether that's right is arguable. But I think most rational humans with that skill set would have reacted the same way. I like that nuance.
It's the same thing as Isaiah Bradley in a way too, though, right? They used him for what they needed, and then they experimented on him and like whatever, right? So
right, and that's why I like this episode so much is they showed that aspect of it is like, yeah, they used me to, they put the serum in me without my knowledge, and then after they did that, I saw my friends die off because they put the serum in them and it didn't react the way they wanted to within my friend group. And I was the one that it worked on, and then they wanted to test me on why it worked on me and not the others.
That part was sad.
Yeah, and it's sad, and it's you can understand his mistrust in the government, his mistrust in humanity, and what the shield means to him versus Falcon versus Captain America. Like I like that duality between what it means to him and what it means to other people.
The timing of the conversation is like insanely like relevant to what's happening right now too in the States, right? 100%. So it's like it's interesting that it's timed so accurately,
right? And
it's good that it is though, because I feel like Disney handles those social like commentary kind of pieces really, really well, right?
I agree, and like I said previous episodes, it's hard as two white men to say our opinion on something, and maybe we're off base, and maybe if I was, of color, I would have a different opinion on how they handled it. But to me, I think they handle it in a very interesting way where maybe people that don't see our viewpoint or don't agree with stuff that's going on in the world would see this episode and go, oh, I'm seeing this from a different viewpoint that I never expected or never thought of or what have you. And I think that's like best piece of art is like a piece of art that makes you think in a different way or makes you look at something in a different manner. Like I like that. I like being pushed on things I believe in or things I think of. So that's why I thought the episode was really well handled and really well done.
Let's talk about the things I didn't really like.
Yes, no, I have a few things that I think
they're gonna line up for sure.
The Julia Louis-Dreyfus cameo.
Yeah.
Okay, so I read stuff afterwards, and like, clearly she was introduced in Black Widow, and then they delayed Black Widow, and therefore her introduction wasn't seen before this episode.
Right.
Whether that was intended or not, whether her introduction in Black Widow is like enough to understand the character more, or maybe it was just like a very small cameo in that too.
Yeah.
And you're supposed to have this like mystery of the character and who she is and what have you. I thought that was handled very poorly because they didn't really explain what her purpose was.
I agree. I mean, okay, so I quite like that Julia Louis-Dreyfus, but like, yeah, like even as somebody who like I consider myself like pretty knowledgeable with comic book stuff, not every aspect of it, like obviously like really heavily around like X-Men and Spider-Man, but like, you know, I knew the general enough from reading like the Marvel Encyclopedia and having the comic books and not the comic books, the trading cards. So like I knew enough about the outside realm that like I could get by, right?
Yeah.
When they like, I can't remember if it was the showrunner who teased it, but somebody teased that there was going to be like a big MCU character introduced that was going to be really important or whatever, right? And when she walked onto the scene, I'm like, this has to be her, but who the fuck is this? I've never even heard that name before.
Either have I, and I assumed that it was going to be the Power Broker, and I talked about that last week. Is like, to me that was the most common sense thing, and maybe she is the Power Broker. We don't know that yet, but without context, that doesn't make it a big reveal. It doesn't make it anything. Like, to say there's a big reveal coming in episode 5 of a new character, and this being so, I mean, maybe a lot of people know about this and we just happen not to, but like, it was a character I have never heard of. I don't know anything about, and maybe she's very important to the future of the MCU, but we don't have that context yet. So to introduce her without any of that context, it's not a big reveal. It's nothing.
Yeah. I don't know. It was cool to see her, but I was just like, if this is the big reveal, which like I feel like it kind of has to be, because that's a pretty big name to just be like, oh yeah, she's gonna show up, but whatever. But yeah, it didn't do it for me.
Right. So Vander Collex is saying right now, if my memory serves me any good, I believe she was the original Madam Hydra.
So there may be more.
Right. I did read that today. Is that she's Madam Hydra, and that this is going to be like the Hydra coming back, and that may be the case. But I've also read that there's a lot of things with this character, and that she's been used in a lot of different ways, and this might not necessarily be the route that Marvel seeks. And I look at that as, you know, even if that is the case, they're going where this is the Hydra coming back and whatever. There's still no context for it. We don't know that yet.
Yeah.
So this isn't a big reveal. This isn't anything other than, hey, that's the woman from Seinfeld that played Elaine that I love, or the character from Veep that I love, being a role in the MCU. And she's a great actress. Julia Louis-Dreyfus is an awesome actress, and I love her. She's hilarious. But we don't have context yet for her in the series, so it's not a big reveal.
Yeah.
That was something that I found disappointing as well. But I love the fact that she could be a part of the MCU moving forward.
Yeah, me too. Oh, I'm you know me. I'm all for expanding the MCU in any way they want to.
Yeah.
The other things that I disliked were the double montages, which reminded me of South Park.
Gonna need a montage.
Everyone fades out in a montage.
Yeah. No, I agree. There was a lot of montages.
It's just like, boom, 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 going to fix the boat, going to sell the boat, not going to sell the boat. Down, 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 down. Now we're friends and we're best friends.
I'm sorry, I did not realize I was doing a podcast with Les Claypool.
No.
What is going on here?
And then it's like immediately following that, it's like, you're the best around.
Yeah.
And it's just like Sam Wilson jogging and sweating and throwing a shield slowly against trees that have gym pads wrapped around them. And it's like, that's supposed to sell me that he's the next Captain America. And I'm just like, and I think the biggest thing.
I like that.
Yeah, I didn't really love it.
See,
I thought it was super cheese, and I was like, it
was cheesy, but I like the aspect of Sam's not a super soldier.
I know.
Sam doesn't have the abilities that necessarily Cap in any form would have. So I like the aspect of him, like, I have to train. I have to be the best man
I agree.
To be able to handle the shield and to have the agility to do these like backflips and side flips and all this stuff. Like, it's like if you put me on a reality show right now, right? Like, I'm fat. I'm not a good fit man. So like, if you put me on like, I don't know, whatever, The Challenge or Big Brother or Survivor or any of these shows that I love right now, I'm not going to be able to compete in a fitness challenge against some, buff 23-year-old. And like,
yes, you would.
I like that aspect. Like, I like seeing the aspect of like, yeah, dude, I got to train to get my ass in gear to be able to be Captain America. We're down to super serum. I'm useless. So like,
I guess here's kind of like my thing, right? Is like, at the end of the day, I know that I'm in the minority because it seems like everybody really, really liked this episode. I just happen to not, which I think everyone is okay with. But what's that?
IGN gave it a 7 out of 10.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like, there's definitely critics out there. I just think I like the boat montage because I think it built Sam and Winter Soldier's relationship. Like,
yeah.
I like that friendly banter. I love that, like, buddy. Like, we kind of don't like each other, but we're also building towards, like, a really great friendship here. And, like, I love that throughout the series is you see them kind of starting as enemies, and now you're kind of seeing them as, like, friends.
Yeah.
And, like, him flirting with Sam's sister, I thought that was really, like, really cute. Like, I liked it.
It was cool to see Bucky, like, again, it seems like it's continued to happen through the series where he's really kind of become more human. Like, it's like you really see him struggle with it, and it's cool to like see it start to be natural for him, right? Like, it's and like, don't get me wrong, it's like, like you said earlier, like the handoff of the shield from Bucky to Sam was like emotional, and it's like I get it, like I did get that too, but it just sucked because like it was really like I kind of lost it because it was like sandwiched between double montages that I found super cheesy. So it was like, yeah, so it didn't play for me the right way. Like, and it's like, it sucks because really the extra time that we got in this episode was those two montages.
Yeah.
And it's like,
I think they had to do that because it was 6 episodes. Like,
I know. And to be honest, man, like I find that like, that's the hardest thing about these Disney Plus shows is it's like you constantly hold it to being an MCU movie because that's really the only context we have for this universe. But it's like it's not that. It's nothing like that. Like they have the flexibility to be so much more in depth and like take their time to explain everything. And it's really hard to, especially when you have to wait week after week. Like, don't get me wrong, I like the wait because I appreciate the anticipation, but it's hard. It's a hard pill to swallow when you're used to like 3 hours of action, and then it's like now we're going to talk about Sam's sister for 3 weeks.
I totally agree with you, and like Disney has the ability to make these series any length they want to. They can spend any amount of money they want to. They have infinite amount of money. So if they wanted Falcon and Winter Soldier to be 35 episodes long, they could have done that, and that's their prerogative. I agree with you. They're making their own limitations, therefore they should be held accountable for those limitations. But I like short series because I think a lot of shows go on too long and we get
I agree.
3
No, I
or
agree.
4 episodes of
Yep.
garbage. So
I like
the
this
aspect
format
that,
they
like,
have. I'm not
Right.
complaining. It's just hard to compare the two.
Yeah, and I agree with you. Like, my favorite show of all time is Breaking Bad. Why? Because it didn't stay past its welcome.
Right.
It did 5 seasons of a show,
And it stayed great.
every season of that show is incredibly well done. Every episode has massive importance into the overall story of the show. And I don't feel like it overstayed its welcome. And then Better Call Saul came around and it explored the prequel like aspect of the show. And each show stands on its own, but it's, to me, the best 2 shows that have been made in the last decade, 20 years, what have you. And, that's my opinion, and people can disagree with it, but I think a lot of shows overstay their welcome, and there's 24 episodes in a season, and you don't need 12 of them. And this show doesn't overstay its welcome. It knows it needs to be 6 episodes. That's the story they want to tell. So let's go with those 6 episodes. And I think this episode set up the finale in a way where, okay, we understand Sam and Bucky's friendship. We understand what the Flag Smashers want to achieve, at least somewhat, in this episode. We understand that, the implications of a black man taking over the Captain America shield mantle, what have you.
Yep.
We see that viewpoint. Obviously, him opening up the case from Wakanda of the new suit, I would assume, of Captain America is going to be a reveal in the beginning of the next episode. Can they tie this all together and make this set up whatever this next step is in the MCU? I don't know. I mean, we'll see in the next episode, but I feel like a lot of people had problems with how WandaVision finished that series.
Mm-hmm.
They wanted more out of it, and I hope that we don't get the same situation.
I agree.
Where Falcon Winter Soldier ends on not really a good ending and doesn't really set up much for this next, year or whatever of the show. So
yeah,
that's my only disappointment is like, I hope that this finale is a great finale. It would be awesome if we find out the next week's episode is 90 minutes.
That's fantastic. But
right. Like, give me the finale that I want to see. Give me some crazy action scenes. Give me a really emotional scene where, Cap takes over or Sam takes over Captain America and like show me what happens with the Flag Smashers. Show me what happens with the remnants of what it means to be Captain America and where Winter Soldier ends up and what the Wakandans think of all this and all that stuff. Like, I want to see resolution in this next episode.
I also wonder about his shield. So it's like, I always was under the impression that the shield came back to him because it was Stark tech.
Right. I agree.
So I'm confused why they're bouncing it off trees and it's coming back to them and alternating between the two of them. I was so confused by that. And then I was also confused by the mid-credit scene where John Walker's making another shield. And I'm like, but like there's no way that's vibranium. Like all Sam would have to do is just be like, it's done now. It's garbage. You literally welded some metal together.
I would absolutely love that in the next episode we see him throw that fucking new shield and it just smashes into smithereens in the next episode. That would be amazing. Like a big battle scene. He goes in, he's ready to fight Sam and Bucky. He throws the shield and it just shatters because it's made of fucking random ass metal he found in his garage.
And then it's got the picture of the helmet with his little nose and his chin and his big ears. He's like,
1000%. Exactly. As soon as I seen that mid-credit scene, I was like, this is such a fucking waste because
I agree.
He's like taking off the emblems off his armor.
It's like, we get it. You're still Captain America. We fucking get it, dude. Like,
exactly. Like, he's taking the emblems off his army suit and like melding them into the shield. And I'm like, this is absurd. This is random ass like emblems that the military would give out. This has no like magical properties in any way. So like
Yeah.
you melting it into your suit doesn't give it special fucking powers or anything.
Yeah.
But
But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think overall, like, it was fine. I didn't, like, hate it. I was just, yeah, it was fine. Are you looking at what Vander
yeah, I'm trying to read it right now.
He said something. He said something about how the Netflix things were like filled with a lot of filler. The Netflix shows, which I
I'll
agree.
say
I
as much
believe
as I enjoyed the I can't read this.
the Netflix ones. He said the Disney Plus
Netflix
ones are
shows,
better.
I prefer the Disney Plus shows and the fact that there isn't really any filler. Yeah, no, and I agree with you.
Hi, Strand.
My biggest problem with Luke Cage and Iron Fist and all those shows was there's way too much filler. I personally think that Daredevil was really well done. I don't think
Me
there's a
too.
lot of filler in Daredevil.
There
I
still
thought
was
the-
though, especially in
There
the
was.
other than the first season, especially.
There was like maybe 2 or 3 episodes this season that could have
Yeah.
been cut out, but
Yep.
I personally really, really liked that Daredevil
Me too.
show,
Me
and
too.
I love Jessica Jones.
Yeah, you did love
I also
Jessica
thought The
Jones.
Punisher was really, really well done, but I felt that Iron Fist and
I don't even think I finished the last season of Jessica Jones. Once I knew it wasn't continuing, I was like, meh.
right, and that is a problem with the shows, but like I still think it would be very, very badass if they bring in Kristen Ritter to be Jessica Jones again in some future Marvel property. Like,
Maybe if it ever made sense to, right?
yeah, like I think it'd be very, very dope. I love Kristen Ritter. I will watch her in anything, literally. So put her in reading a cereal commercial, and
I love cereal
watch it.
commercials. They're
Yeah.
great.
Exactly. She could be the new Tony the Tiger, and I'd love it.
She's that
Um,
sassy, sexy Tony the Tiger.
Yeah,
Tony
what
could
up?
be a girl's name too. It could be with an I at the end. Tony.
Hell yeah.
Tony the Tiger.
Stranded Customs is in here too, so
Yeah, I said hi. Yo, 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 yo,
What
yo,
up?
yo, yo. What was the other things that I didn't like or did like? Let's see here.
Okay, so let me ask you this: Where do you see the finale going? Like, what do you see an end result of?
Well,
Where
okay.
these characters end up? Do we see them again? Do we get a season 2?
Mhm.
Where do you see this going?
I do think we'll get a season 2 because I feel like they're going to need to have a place to continue Sam's story. And the thing is like, he's not, like, Sam is not superhuman. So it's like, it's going to be more or less just like John Walker, just getting tossed around by super people. It's like, it's the best. This is the best example. Our main event for the last episode of this is Falcon versus Baltrock. Like it's,
We should talk about that too because he came back, right? Like,
yeah.
we didn't really talk about that, but he made a deal with the Flag Smashers of giving them, I don't know, I assume an explosive of some sort to blow up a building in New York.
Yeah.
I was disappointed that they used New York yet again. There's other fucking cities in the world that things exist in, and I understand this is an American show and probably made by American producers and directors and what have you. But there's other fucking countries in the world other than America, and I'm sick of every fucking thing being in New York.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
we're gonna blow up the Capitol in Milton, Ontario.
I understand that like Canada doesn't have a lot of famous buildings and a lot of famous shit, but there's an entire earth with cool shit. Why haven't we gone to Egypt?
Nah.
Blow up a pyramid.
Yeah.
People. I'm sick. I'm sick of America. Everything is so fucking American. This is why I named this podcast Moose Milk Media, because I wanted something Canadian. There's no
'Cause what-
Canadian voices in the fucking world.
Because
There's
what
some great
American would
Canadian bands.
ever do that? That's how it's
There's
clearly
great Canadian bands. There's no great Canadian podcast, at least that I know of, other than oh fuck, I can't even think of the name now that I'm going on a fucking rant.
See?
I'll think of it.
Point proven.
Yes. I'm sick of America. Everything doesn't have to exist in New York or LA. There's other countries in the world.
Well,
That's all I'm saying.
Okay, so I think the reason it's cool that it's in America, though, is because it brings it back to reality and it shows that these guys may be far away threat, but they can be a threat right in your neighborhood just like that. So it's
Right.
like,
But my problem with that is that every other country is made up. Wakanda, made up.
yeah,
Fucking Sokovia, made up.
yeah.
All of a sudden, New York, we have to go back to New York.
Well, I think it's just, again, because it brings it all back together, right? So it's, I mean, I get what you're saying, but I mean, yeah.
Let's
still
go
gonna
to
play out
Japan.
the same. It's still going to play out the same way, so it doesn't really matter.
Let's go to Japan. That's all I'm saying. Let's go to Japan.
That would be very
It'd be
cool.
Like, let's go to another cool fucking country that has cool architecture that most people know.
Would
Let's go to
recognize,
England
yeah.
and blow up Big Ben or something.
Go to
like,
Paris.
yes, Eiffel Tower, something. Like, go
I guess
somewhere
Spider-Man
else.
already did that, so.
Sure. But my point is like, there's lots of other places in the world that has architecture that people know that you don't have to constantly go back to New York and go, oh, you know New York because there's these big buildings. There's a lot of cities and a lot of places with big buildings.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you. I guess I just never really thought about it that much.
I don't know. It just bothered me. I was like, of course, we have to go back to New York. They haven't been blowing up enough in this MCU universe. Let's go back to New York.
Well, it wouldn't be an MCU show if something in New York didn't get blown up. So
Right. It's the only city in the world, apparently.
It's just because that's where all the international people from outside planets want to come and visit. They're like, oh, New York. You ever been to New
Right.
York? It's pretty cool.
I'm sure it's great. I'm
very
not
cool.
discrediting New York. Anybody in this podcast that listens that's from New York, I'm not saying your city sucks. I've heard you have great pizza. I love pizza.
It is good pizza.
I
It's
want
not
to
as
go
good
to
as
New York.
it's not as good as Windsor pizza. I'll say it.
Okay. There, Matt is saying
That's,
it. I didn't
that's
say
the
it.
hardest part with you is if you even whenever you come back out here, it's like the best pizza here is not even close to as good as the worst pizza
No.
at home. It's just
I
not.
know that because I've been to Vancouver twice, and both times we've eaten pizza, and you're like,
have a
this is
good-
the best pizza.
I have a
And
good
it's
pizza
not.
place for us. It's good.
It's like when I listen to a podcast and they're living in like California and they're like, this is the best pizza place in California. I'm like, it's not good pizza. You guys don't know what you're talking about. I have literally like 12 pizza places in walking distance of my house.
It's true.
This is Windsor Pizza. Windsor Pizza is known world, or at least national wide, of being the best pizza in Canada.
Do you want to know something funny? One time I was out somewhere and someone made a comment and I basically did that exact rant and I said, oh, it's not as good as Windsor Pizza. Windsor Pizza is the best. Blah, 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 blah. And somebody actually pulled up an article on their phone that said why people from Windsor think their pizza is the best.
I'm sure that it's an issue. I'm sure my overconfidence rubs people the wrong way. But there's also the people that move out west that come back just for the pizza.
Oh, fuck that. I ain't going back for just the pizza. I like the pizza. I'll eat it when I'm there, but I ain't going back. That's for sure.
The rest of the city is trash fire. I hate my city. I think the city is fucking a dumpster fire. But
Got
we
good
have
pizza?
dope pizza.
You do have good
We
pizza.
have dope pizza. And as a fat man, I say I love pizza.
I also love pizza. I had good pizza tonight. It was good.
Pizza's great. Nobody can argue against pizza. Sorry.
It's true. I agree.
But anyway,
Someone will.
next
now.
week's finale, I want to see Captain America's shield being handed over to Falcon. I want that to open
Well, he
the
has it.
episode.
He already has it, right? Technically.
Well, I want the whole, him putting on the costume, him grabbing the shield, him kicking ass as the new Captain America.
Mm-hmm,
I still think it would be really dope that the fact that he doesn't have the super soldier serum, if he still had the wings too. And he was like this
you haven't seen the picture of the costume, have you?
No, I haven't. I think that would be really dope. I want to see him call Bucky in to finish this shit off, and then setting up the future of Falcon and Bucky. I don't know if they want to do a season 2 or if they want to do a movie, like a new Captain America movie or what have you.
I'd love to see them do. I'd love to see another season, to be honest. And like, they don't even have to call it the same thing. They can say it's, they can call it Captain America and Bucky.
Yes, that's fine. I would actually, honestly, really prefer a Captain America 4 movie that stars Falcon as America. Like, I think that would be really cool of Disney. But I want to see how this leads into the future of MCU. I want them to set up something either in the mid-credit scene or by the end of the episode of like where this is going to tie into the rest of the MCU.
Yeah. I think that's a given almost, though, because we almost always get that, right?
Yeah, like I want to start seeing where this is heading, how this is all leading into a new storyline. We've dealt with everything with the Infinity Stones and all of that. I want to see the next storyline. I want them to start dropping tidbits of where this is all heading, what the next big villain is. And it doesn't have to be like, anything major, but just start dropping the little tiny candies along the way,
I'd love to get another X-Men reference in there if we could. That'd be great.
I think that it's coming, and I don't know if it's this or Loki or what, but I do think that we are going to get an X-Men little niblet.
I think Loki. It would make more sense with Loki.
The time travel, the time difference.
Yeah.
Him, whatever the timekeepers or what have you.
Yeah, and the alternate realities and stuff. That's where it's going to come from, I think. Yeah.
I really, really hope that somewhere in Loki he goes to a timeline where the X-Men are a thing.
That'd be awesome.
And we see like an Xavier school. We see all the X-Men, and that's a timeline. And then he bops back to our timeline, and it's not a thing. But somehow they set up the fact that it's coming to our timeline. Like, some way or another, these X-Men are coming. It's inevitable, and we get them.
Yeah.
It'd be awesome.
Yeah, that would be pretty sweet. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm super excited for Loki. I think Loki's going to be really fun.
The trailer.
I think Loki's going to be like a good mix of what we've already got with both of them. Like, I feel like it's going to have elements of WandaVision. And it's going to have elements of Captain America, Winter Soldier, Falcon and Winter Soldier.
I want to see next week in the credit scene, the very end of the credit scene. I want a mid credit scene, and then I want an end credit scene. And at the end credit scene, I want the Shang-Chi trailer.
Oh, that'd be great. Then they can finally sell the toys.
Because I don't understand how this movie's coming out in September and we have not even got a trailer yet.
Yeah, good point.
This show should it should end with the Shang-Chi trailer. I want to see this movie. I want to know what the fuck's happening with this movie.
Me too.
And we also haven't gotten an Eternals trailer. So like,
I'm fine with that.
This has to be coming. So to me, one trailer should show at the end of this series, and the next trailer should show at the end of Loki.
Yeah, good call. That's a smart idea. Yeah, that'd be nice. Hopefully we get that.
Set up the next part of the MCU.
Yep.
Like, we don't have another show till Loki.
Yep.
And then in the middle of Loki, we get Black Widow. And then we don't have anything to Shang-Chi. So when are you going to set this up? There's no football. You can't drop the trailer in the middle of a football game or something huge that like all of the United States or Canada is going to see.
The thing is though, man, they don't need a big thing. People are going to be MCU hungry by that point. They're going to have gone without anything. So like all they're going to have to do is be like Shang-Chi, and everyone's going to be like, oh fuck.
Yeah. They can post on Twitter tomorrow.
Seriously.
That the Shang-Chi trailer dropped on YouTube, and everybody's going to go watch it. I'm not saying that.
MCU's hot right now. MCU's hot.
Of course.
It's hot again.
Because nobody can leave their houses, at least in Canada, especially in Ontario.
Yep.
B, we are hungry for content. We can't go see films. We're not getting much new TV. We're hungry for media. We're hungry for new stuff. So
especially because you just got a tidbit with WandaVision.
100%. Like, and they need to start dropping the breadcrumbs of the future of the MCU.
Yep,
and this is where it starts.
Well, I think there's already more than we know, right? Like, I bet you there'll be a lot of stuff coming from WandaVision that probably wasn't even pointed out. So, like, I'm sure we haven't seen the end of that either, right? So,
I mean, we got the tidbits that Loki's going to have a season 2 probably.
Mhm.
So that's great.
Yeah.
I like the fact that some of these shows are going to get a season 2. I don't think you can do a WandaVision season 2, but
I don't either.
You know, maybe we'll get a Falcon Winter Soldier season 2 of some sort. I don't know, but I see a Loki season 2 making a lot of sense. I also
me too.
see like
You could do that forever. Like, they could just keep going and you could keep it entertaining because it doesn't even need to have a narrative. It could just be like Loki goes this week to this battle and does his Deadpool like funny shit and is just himself, and it's funny, right? And it's
that and like She-Hulk. I can't see them doing a She-Hulk movie at any point.
Yeah, hard to say.
Maybe they will.
They might not be able to. I think there's a rights thing with Hulk. I don't know if it's with She-Hulk too, but
right. So like a She-Hulk season 2, I could see happening, or a Ms. Marvel season 2, I could see happening.
Yeah, me too.
I think this is the direction they want to head, is have a solid foundation of TV shows that they can air on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
Year to year to year to year. And then also have like tentpole movies that follow within.
Yep.
And obviously they want to build Wanda to be part of Doctor Strange, so that's fine. But like some of these shows do need season 2s, season 3s, season 4s, but don't go as long as, you know, season 12 where we're going, the show sucks now.
Yeah. Stop it while it's good, right?
Right, exactly.
Yeah. Wrap it up while everyone's still on board.
Exactly.
Yeah, I agree. And the thing is like you don't even have to like kill it off. You just stop it. Like, that's the thing is, again, and I've said this on this podcast so many fucking times, but it's like, we're going to get to the point where you're going to see Ant-Man in his movie, and then you're not going to see him for 2 years, and then all of a sudden he's going to pop up 2 or 3 times in a couple little things and team up or help somebody. Like, that's what this world is about to become. Like, literally, there's so many new heroes being introduced this year alone. Like it's going to be impossible for there to be like a routine schedule. Like, oh, it's Iron Man 1. Now it's Captain America 1. Now, like, it's never going to be like that again because it won't be able to. Like,
I've said it in the last 2 or 3 episodes, is like Tatiana Maslany as She-Hulk is one of the best casting directions they've ever taken.
I agree.
She is one of the best actresses that I've seen in any show ever, and I cannot wait to have her in the MCU.
Me too.
So if you want to keep her in a show in the future, I'm completely content with that. Like, let her do 10 seasons of She-Hulk. I don't give a fuck, because she's a great actress. But as long as you keep casting great actors and actresses in films and shows, what have you, I'm completely content in whatever direction they want to head in. Yep. Keep putting good people in good roles. You're going to get great content.
I 100% agree. Yeah, it's like the recipe for success, right? That's why they've been successful. They've given, not everybody, like, there has been stories of them not giving all the creative control, but there's been a lot of times where people have said really good things too, right? Directors and writers and stuff like that. So it's, you know, but like the thing is like they're at the point now where it's like they know how to make a good movie. It's like, you know, it's a formula that they've been able to figure out, and it's been tried and true, and it's proven to work, right? Like, you know, like when you compare a Marvel MCU movie to any other comic book movie in the market, any of them, even some of the good ones, the one thing that the MCU always has is it has that narrative that it follows a greater story, and it's one great universe, and it's just like, for the people who are engaged in that, they really get to benefit from how rich that universe has become over 12, 13 years.
Totally agree. I do want to touch on really quickly your thoughts on Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Go.
It's so funny. I can't stop. It's so funny. Yeah, it's weird as fuck, but it's really funny. I'm enjoying it a lot. I'm already at season 3 now, so.
Perfect. So everybody that has not seen Always Sunny, it's on Disney Plus now, the first 8 seasons. This is
Okay.
a guy that has not seen much of any of these series, and he loves it. I'm highly, highly, highly recommending you that if you have not seen Always Sunny in Philadelphia,
You should watch it.
see
It's really funny. It's hard to pick a favorite because they're all fucked up in their own kind of way.
It's some of the best sitcom stuff that you'll ever see. If you're a Friends fan, a Seinfeld fan, The Office fan, it's a lot more R-rated than those series because
That would be the
It
only
can
thing
go
I think would
anywhere.
turn people off is like it's like crass. Like it's
very crass.
Yeah,
It's very
yeah.
offensive, but
if
it's
you're
very
if you're into that kind of thing, like it's really funny. Like I could never imagine my wife watching it and being like, "This is hilarious." She'd be like, "This
Yeah.
is fucking stupid and it's offensive. I'm leaving."
Sure, and
I'm
I get
leaving
that.
you.
Like,
Okay.
if you're very easily offended, it's going to bother you because they touch on everything,
Oh yeah.
and it's no holds bar. Like they don't care that you're offended by it. They will joke about it and they'll laugh about it.
It's funny.
But it's also, I think, some of the best writing and best comedy that has happened in the last 15 years. Like, I'm a huge Curb Your Enthusiasm fan, so like if you love Curb, if you love Seinfeld, if you love any of those famous sitcoms, I can't see how you don't like Always Sunny because they touch on stuff similar, but it's definitely adult flavored. It's got the spice of R-rated in there.
Even
that,
if you
like,
don't like that stuff, because I don't really care for Seinfeld that much. Like I will watch it, but it's not really a favorite. And like I've never really enjoyed Curb Your Enthusiasm either. So it's like, but I find this to be pretty fucking funny. So like to me, it reminds me of like got a lot of undertones of like South Park, like in like how it like presents, because it's just like you said, it's like no holds bar. It's like they just say whatever, and it's like unfiltered, and it's fucking crazy. Yeah, like when they find a dumpster baby, it's like what, and they want to like try to get it an acting job, so they like try to put it in a tanning bed, and it's like what the fuck, man, so fucked up.
I also want to touch on that. Obviously, next week is the finale of Falcon and Winter Soldier, so we're going to touch on that next week. The future weeks, we have 6 weeks in between Falcon and Loki, so we are going to come up with episode ideas in between that, but we are going to do the first 2 weeks after Falcon and Winter Soldier. We're going to do our top 10 albums ever. So we're going to break it into 2 episodes, 5 and 5. We're going to do some honorable mentions in the first episode as well, but we're basically going to view our top 15 albums over 2 episodes.
Which is hard because we're both music fans, or I used to be way more than I am now. I'm not really that much anymore, but I still love all the music that I used to love. I'm just, yeah.
Right.
But music is a huge part of my life. Huge part of my life. Even more than...
It's what made us friends, probably more than anything, was we related on music a lot. We shared music a lot.
Yep.
We went to concerts together.
Yes,
we both had like a huge love of music. So, that's going to be the 2 episodes after Falcon and Winter Soldier. Is basically going to be our top 15 albums each over 2 episodes. We're going to break it up because Instagram won't let us go longer than an hour, and we need longer than an hour to go over 15 albums. So that's going to be the 2 episodes after.
These are the kind of texts I get from Ryan. I don't know how I can get my list down to 5. It's not possible. I'm like, all right, fine. We'll do 2 weeks then. Like.
Exactly, spot on. I'm also going to do some live streams of video games solo without Matt. April 30th till May 14th. There's 3 games I want to play on stream on YouTube. If you follow my YouTube channel, so Returnal's coming out April 30th. Resident Evil 8 is coming out May 7th, and the Mass Effect trilogy remastered is coming out.
Watch your time. Almost out of time.
Yeah, so those 3 weeks in a row, I'm going to stream live on my YouTube channel about those 3 games, and then afterwards we will still do a podcast after that, but it will just be me solo. So if you're interested in video games or what have you, please follow YouTube. But otherwise, come back. We'll do a podcast each of those nights still.
Until Loki starts.
What's that?
Until Loki starts, then we'll jump back into Loki.
Then we'll jump into Loki. We'll do a Black Widow podcast. We'll do all of it. We'll keep covering MCU, but we are going to have 6 weeks.
I'll give weekly Bad Batch updates.
He's going to do Bad Batch updates. I'm not going to do Bad Batch updates. But if you love comic books, don't be sad. We will come back to it, but we are going to do a 6-week break of different stuff. We're going to cover movies. We're going to cover music. We're going to cover, live music, all kinds of different things within those 6 weeks. So I hope you keep coming back because we're not letting up. We're going to still do an episode every week. But thank you for everybody following. Please follow Customs FSU. Follow him. Love him. But also follow me if you can, Moose Milk Media. Go to YouTube, follow the page there, like the page there, comment there. Please, I'm asking you, just spread the love and keep following and keep posting, keep commenting. If you have any ideas for episodes you'd like to see or questions or anything like that, we can definitely do a question and answer episode if I get a few,
That'd be fun. We could do one where we just make up a bunch of ads and we just do stupid shit like we normally do. So basically just our text messages, but on video.
1,000%. I am willing to do that.
Well, good thing.
Thanks everybody. Yeah, thanks everybody for watching. I appreciate your time. I appreciate your love, support, everything like that. This podcast wouldn't still be going if it wasn't for the people that are watching. So thank you. And this is going to end right now, I think.